I have a fairy tale for you. It's about the woman who left the kingdom. There was once a woman born inside a kingdom that taught her who to be before she ever had the chance to learn who she was. And she was taught how to obey to be safe, and how to belong, and how to become what others wanted her to be. She learned how to sacrifice herself and call it a virtue. And so she did. She built the life that she was told would make her safe and included and acceptable. And she chose a partner through that lens. She built her family through that lens. She built a community through that lens. In fact, she built her whole world through this carefully inherited identity. And that's what the kingdom expected her to build. But this woman loved deeply, and she gave full-heartedly. She became what they wanted her to be. But somewhere beneath her devotion, a quiet truth began knocking. You're disappearing inside of the life that you built. It felt something very heavy, like suffocating. She began to fight it because questioning the kingdom meant risking everything she loved: her faith, her marriage, her friends, the approval of those that she loved, even her children's understanding of who she was. But truth, once felt in the body, does not go back to sleep easily. And so she made a plan and she walked out. And not because she was certain of where her next life was going to lead her. No. But because staying required her to continue abandoning herself. And at first, you know what? Leaving did not feel so liberating. It felt more like grief, a deep loss, even a bit scary. And she doubted herself in the darkness of letting go of everything that she had put her trust and devotion into. She missed the convenience of her partner. She missed her children. She missed the routines and the predictable outcomes, and she wondered if she had mistaken awakening for selfishness. And some days, she nearly returned just to end the ache of unfamiliarity. But in this new wilderness, beyond the kingdom gates of security and certainty, she found other women. Women who had lost entire worlds in order to find their own names again. And these women did not rescue her. They knew better than that. However, they reminded her that grief and freedom can arrive together, and that losing one's inherited identity is not the same as losing one's soul. And they taught her that reclaiming herself after the religion can feel less like enlightenment and more like surviving a sacred unraveling of all the tapestry that was stitched with the threads of someone else's blueprint for her life. And slowly over time, and with the inspiration of these strong women, she stitched a new tapestry, one that included her colors and her fabrics and her vision. And she gathered herself back, piece by piece. Her voice, her body, her intuition, her right to exist without abandoning her own truth. Until finally, one day, she understood. She had not lost everything. She was merely rearranging the order of her life to be more in alignment with her true self. She had lost that version of her life that required her to become invisible. She realized that the battle was never about becoming someone new. No, it was more about recovering the woman that had been buried beneath the programs of obedience. And though the road had cost her dearly, she no longer mistook that false life as being the certain path or the path of safety. The new aligned identity that she carried now could never be granted to her by institutions and partners and by seeking validation from the crowds. She carried an identity that she had chosen. She gained faith in herself that had been well earned. And she also gained a fierce awareness that all the women beside her those who had walked through the fire too, they were not evidence that she had failed. No, they were proof that she was not alone in the sacred work of becoming whole. Now, the way she showed up for her children was different. And the way she connected to what was sacred was different. And the way she called in partners was different. And the way she built her life was different, because now she honored what she loved, what brought her peace, and what her inspiration and expansion could create. She was no longer becoming who the kingdom wanted her to be. She was becoming who she knew she could be. And that endeavor brought her true peace and real joy in authentic connections.